Remember when Joy Reid laughingly mocked white women tears as pathetic and offensive to her? Who's crying now, Joy? Good riddance to the absolute worst person on television, and shame on NBC for letting it go on this long. And she has a, she is an axe to grind when it comes to MSNBC. And also, this whole, she's racist.
What's happening, everybody? Well, unless you've been under a rock for the last couple days, you know that we've experienced arguably one of the greatest events in human history, the cancellation of Joy Reid's show on MSNBC. Megyn Kelly, like any human being, reacted to this news with glee on her show. Well, ex-CNN genius Don Lemon had something to say about that, and he was going to put her in her place. Don Lemon comically attempted to tell all of us why Megyn Kelly is racist and anti-woman, but unsurprisingly, failed miserably and gave all of us some fantastic content to laugh at. Anyway, let's watch Don Lemon, per usual, make a jackass of himself while Megyn Kelly continues to wipe tears from her eyes and try to catch her breath from laughing so hard. Let's go.
Let's do a Google search on Megyn Kelly, shall we? Just to prove this. I'm going to set up some evidence before I show you this. Let's do a Google search of Megyn Kelly, Andy. Shall we, producers? Megyn Kelly calls out Tom Hanks. Megyn Kelly calls out this person. Manufactured tears. Megyn Kelly calls out Selena Gomez. Megyn Kelly, grow up. Megyn Kelly calls out CNN pundit. He's so dumb. Megyn Kelly calls out Governor Walking. And then you can page after page. Megyn Kelly calls out, Megyn Kelly calls out, Megyn Kelly calls out. Now, she calls out a lot of women, and she's supposed to be for women. Megyn Kelly calls out this person. So this is what Megyn Kelly said about Joy Reid, right? And remember, Joy Reid is a woman. Megyn Kelly is a woman. She's supposed to be all about women and, supports women. Okay, so this is what she said. Remember when Joy Reid laughingly mocked white women tears as pathetic and offensive to her? Who's crying now, Joy? Good riddance to the absolute worst person on television, and shame on NBC for letting it go on this long. And she has a, she is an axe to grind when it comes to MSNBC. And also, this whole, she's racist, right? It's just, I'm going to give you the evidence. Supposedly learned from it and then spent every day after apologizing for it and being fired for it, then spent every day proving the point that she is a racist and not very supportive of women. If you look, all you have to do, the evidence is in her Google search and what she says about women and how she calls them out all the time. The worst person. No, Megyn Kelly, the worst person on television was fired from NBC in the Today Show a few years ago, and that's Megyn Kelly. That's the worst person who's not on television. So hurrah for that. NBC did something good with that. You know why? I like to give proof of things. Evidence. Like when I said Donald Trump, the president of the United States, was racist, it wasn't my opinion. This isn't my opinion about Megyn Kelly. The evidence is there. I'm going to show you the evidence of Megyn Kelly, and that's just as I showed you the evidence of Donald Trump. This is Megyn Kelly back in the day
dress like a
when she got fired from NBC.
But what is racist? Because truly, you do get in trouble if you are a white person who puts on blackface for Halloween, or a black person who puts on whiteface for Halloween. Like back when I was a kid, that was okay as long as you were dressing up as like a character.
If somebody feels like something is offensive to them, then you should say it, and that's fair game.
Yeah, and whatever happened to just manners and polite society?
But on Halloween, you've got guys running around with fake axes coming out of their head.
But what I'm saying
it's gonna be jarring.
Right, but what I'm saying,
there was controversy on the Real Housewives. There was a controversy on the Real Housewives of New York with Luann, as she dressed as Diana Ross, and she made her skin look darker than it really is, and people said that was racist. And I don't know, I thought, like, who doesn't love Diana Ross? She wants to look like Diana Ross for one day. I don't know how, like, that got racist on Halloween. It's not like I can't keep up with the number of people that were offending just by being like normal people.
It's not normal people. And you don't, in order to be Diana Ross, you don't have to darken your skin. And it's not okay. Blackface was never okay and is not okay. And then she apologized.
And I want to begin with 2 words. I'm sorry. You may have heard that yesterday we had a discussion here about political correctness and Halloween costumes. And that conversation turned to whether it is ever okay for a person of one race to dress up as another. A black person making their face lighter or a white person making theirs darker to make a costume complete. I defended the idea, saying as long as it was respectful and part of a Halloween costume, it seemed okay. Well, I was wrong, and I am sorry.
Girl, bye. Had she learned from that, she wouldn't.
Wow, I've been watching Megyn Kelly this whole time, and I've always really liked her, but I forgot about that horrible incident that got her fired from NBC. She is so racist, and I cannot support her anymore. And if you don't think that was racist, you're racist. And trust me, Don Lemon gives us a lot more wonderful examples. Now, in Megyn Kelly's tweet about Joy Reid, please let me know in the comments if she said anything that was incorrect. Joy Reid, for a long time, has been, without question, the GOAT of racism on cable news. She's got a lot of competition, but no one even touched her. I mean, she despises white people. So Megyn Kelly called her an awful person and pointed out as one of 100 times that Joy Reid commented on white women tears, as well as she said white male tears are okay, even though they say we're trying to take masculinity away. I don't see a lot of white tears. Now, where I do see tears is when Democrats lose an election. There are compilations of idiots screaming at the top of their lungs and crying, shaving their head, saying that they're not going to have sex with men anymore. When Republicans lose an election, it's odd. You can't find any compilations like that. So I'm not sure where the whole white woman tears thing came from. How Megyn Kelly is stating something that's a fact, that Joy Reid is the worst human on the planet, Don missed me with that one because I don't see how that's racist. Now I see how Joy Reid's racist because she constantly talks about how terrible white people are, but this is a story about how racist Megyn Kelly is. I can't remember if I cut this part or if we just watched it where Don Lemon says, let's just Google Megyn Kelly. And he goes, producers, can we bring that up? How many producers do you think Don Lemon has? I think Don Lemon has as many producers as I do. I feel like he's trying to pretend that he's doing a legitimate show from somewhere other than his bajillion-dollar home that CNN paid for by himself. And I'm just speculating on that, but given the production value and the god-awful content. Oh, by the way, I've cut down this to about 8 minutes. I cut out so much dead air, you can't believe it. It's the least professional show from a so-called news media personality that had a long career with a big network that you've ever seen. Essentially, it's like my show if I didn't cut out all the times where I forget what I'm supposed to say and I just stare at the screen. I don't want to encourage anyone to check out Don Lemon's channel, but if you want more laughter, check it out. Last thing before we get back to the video and continue learning about how racist Megyn Kelly is. I'm not exaggerating at all when I tell you that if you go to the comment section of this video, I didn't scroll through all of the comments. I didn't see one that was positive. Every single one was like, yeah, Don, Megan's a real newswoman, you're a jackass, something. I'm paraphrasing, but I put a comment in there and said, is anyone on here watching this unironically? And I posted that, I don't know, 10 hours ago or something. And the last I looked, it had at least 12 likes. I mean, it was a comment in the middle of the pack. So people had to be reading these comments for a while to get a laugh to even get to mine. And 12 likes doesn't sound like a lot, but there were at least 12 people that agreed with me. What is this that we're watching? It's such a bad show. But lucky for you, you're going to see more evidence of that. And of course, see how racist Megyn Kelly is. So let's get back to it.
Spend almost every day being a racist, proving the point that she was crying about and that people called her then. Because then I would say, you know what she learned? I was actually friendly with Megyn Kelly. And then when people show you who they are, you better fucking believe it. This is another piece of evidence. This is what she said when Tiffany Cross was fired from MSNBC for doing an editorial on Megyn Kelly and her racist behavior. This is how she responded.
I have some good news. One of them just got fired. Tiffany Cross, the most racist person in all of television, and in particular on MSNBC, just got fired. Poor Tiffany. See news. I'll give you just a couple of examples of some of her greatest hits. Recently, I called her a dumbass because she commented on Tua, the Miami Dolphins quarterback. She was upset when Tua got hurt, the concussion thing,
Can you
which
pause
I was
it, please?
upset with too.
So when she calls her a dumbass, it's okay, it's fine, it's funny. But when Tiffany calls her out for that, it's not okay. Do you see what I'm saying? It's not okay when Tiffany calls her out. But when she calls someone a dumbass, it's okay. And by the way, when I say people are dumb, or I use people are shocked when I said the F word. She does it every single day. Just about every single day she does it. Calls somebody a dumbass or says what? I mean, I'm going to show you another one that she did, okay? But it's not okay if Tiffany calls her out for it.
But she took it racial. She was like, all these white owners making these black players. Tua is not black, and the owner was, or the coach was not white. She blasted Republican members of Congress as white supremacists a day after the Wisconsin jury acquitted Rittenhouse. Okay, somehow that made the Republican members of Congress white supremacists. She called Rittenhouse a little murderous white supremacist. She said we should all be concerned about white replacement. It is, after all, a very threat to our survival here. White replacement can strangle culture. Thought we weren't supposed to be talking about, quote, replacement theories. Thought that was racist.
Yeah.
And then she came out and said on the Capitol insurrection.
Tiffany has a show.
All right. Enough of my world famous sarcasm. In her reading that tweet about Tiffany Cross, I definitely heard some racism, not from Megyn Kelly though. Tiffany Cross was an up-and-comer to challenge Joy Reid for the most racist person on cable news. She's read 3 things there real quick that just, of course, demonized the horrible white man. And then Don Lemon says, see how racist that was? And, oh, it's okay for you to call her a dumbass, but she can't come at you? He's literally making no sense. Where are we seeing that? Where is anyone saying that Megyn Kelly can't take it, or like she says you can't say that to me? She was just happy, as normal human beings were, that Tiffany Cross was fired. I mean, the level of celebration was up there. I mean, it's no Joy Reid. I mean, that's a once in a lifetime opportunity, but a lot of people were very happy. She's just a racist, awful, nasty, vile, divisive person, similar to Joy Reid. But seriously, if you listen to Don Lemon here, you listen close, the dots aren't connecting. He's making zero sense. The points he's trying to make just aren't there. And he's the one who picked these clips. Anyway, let's wrap it up.
She, as Megyn Kelly does, should have the right on her show to be able to say things that people don't agree with, because people don't agree that Tiffany, who's a very bright woman, is a dumbass. And then she is supposed to be a big supporter of women. This is what she said about a former colleague of mine. Watch.
The viral clip of Caitlin Collins, who CNN is trying to make into a star. I'm sorry, but she's only a star with leftists. And the fact that she has some roots in Alabama does not make her a fair and balanced reporter. I will submit to the record, her biggest sin is not that she is biased, though she is. It's that she's boring. She's extremely boring with no personality. I have a pro tip for her. Smile. Try smiling every once in a while. Try not to be, like, in your delivery, such a cold-hearted bitch all the time, because it gives people nothing to bond to.
Was that really necessary? And how is that supportive of women? Now, I would never use that language. And Megyn Kelly has called me sexist or misogynist. She has no idea, which is a lie. Even the person you criticized, I gave her her first opportunity to be on the network in prime time. But you are supposed to be supportive of women, and I would never call a woman a B. So this is what I will say to Megyn Kelly. Megyn Kelly had this advice to Joe and Mika when they went down to Mar-a-Lago.
I searched for a way to respond appropriately, and I called on my 10 years as a litigator in addition to my now 20 as a journalist, and I think I found the perfect phrase, go fuck yourselves.
So let me just say to Megyn Kelly, in my 30-some years as a journalist and my 50-some years as a person of color, go fuck yourself.
Wow. Damning stuff. I'm certainly no longer a Megyn Kelly fan. What an expose, you know. I think Don proved his point there. Now, Mr. Lamont said something there like, Tiffany Cross has the right to say things on her show that people disagree with. Yeah, she does. Well, who said that she doesn't? Megyn Kelly was just happy that another racist was off the air. I mean, again, do you see why I say the dots aren't, they don't, he's not proving his point by saying that. And maybe I misunderstood something, but I just thought it was a matter of record that Caitlin Collins sucks and she's boring. Then Don Lemon goes, and by the way, I'm the one who gave her the opportunity at CNN. Now that checks out for sure. Don Lemon keeps harping on this thing that Megyn Kelly is a big supporter of women. So I don't know why I would, but I'll take his word for that. But does that mean then that Megyn Kelly can't criticize people if they're women? Or she can't criticize people if they just suck, or if they're racist, or they're just awful? What is she supposed to do? And I've just expressed my opinion on here about my feelings about Don Lemon, but you have to give credit where credit is due. He has won at least one award that I know of. In 2014, he was voted the worst journalist of the year. So let's not forget that. He has contributed. And finally, I chose this video to cover the whole Joy Reid being fired thing because I'd just seen it covered over and over and over. So unfortunately, I haven't spent a lot of time in this video talking about her. But before we go, I want to say this. While none of us will miss Joy Reid, I'm speaking for myself here. I will certainly miss her costumes. No one did it better. From Donald Trump to Dennis Rodman, I salute you, Joy Reid. I think it's important that we separate the hair from the person. But what did you guys think about Don Lemon's takedown of Megyn Kelly? And are you going to stop watching her now because of all of her racism? And let me know what you think about Joy Reid being let go from MSNBC. Are you happy about it? Or are you sad like many people are? Not really many people are, but if you are sad about it, please comment. Anyway, that's it for this video. If you like watching videos of jackasses like Don Lemon spouting nonsense and really making no point whatsoever, and click on one of the videos that's about to pop up in your screen. Otherwise, as always, I've got the best viewers on the planet. I'm so grateful for every single one of you. And I could never express how much I appreciate that you take a couple minutes out of your day to watch my video. It means more than you'll ever know. Jesus loves you. I'll see you guys.